make sure you guys are in raid and paying attention. Keep ready checking you every 10 seconds.
Alright. So this is when I don't go AFK.
Yeah, this is when you don't go AFK.
It's gonna be the most awkward urination break.
Where's Tech?
Tech's birthday today.
Oh, he's not here for the... Oh, who's gonna tell us how to do tier 16 then?
There are other people that know things, not just Tech.
Oh yeah? Aww.
Really?
You want to check the whole game?
Well, it's okay. He wrote us a guide on what to tell you.
Yeah!
We're just
really
gonna read you the guide, and then we'll be done.
How to raid by Tech.
How to, yeah. No, I mean, we have some information. The good thing is that we've never really done this, okay? And we have the opportunity here today to actually do exactly that, and, you know, get together with you guys, talk about the encounters a little bit, and,
I know, why are we
know,
talking
let
about
you know
anal
what the
rape?
abilities are and what to expect, okay? And, you know, what we're thinking, okay, how we're gonna run these encounters. A lot of these are gonna be normal strats. Some of the encounters we'll do in a heroic strat manner, you know, where, you know, we'll just kind of, you know, we'll do an encounter in a way that may seem illogical at first, but it'll make perfect sense when we do it the fall week in heroics, okay? If you want to follow along, you know, just, I don't know, I could.
Yeah, is it written up somewhere, or?
Yeah, it's written up somewhere. I will.
Because I was gonna bring up for the stream. I was gonna bring up Wowpedia so I can walk through each boss as we go through it. But yeah.
Yeah, Wowpedia is always really good. So I mean, that's something that you guys could just get up. You know, Wowpedia. There's no reason what's written up here. It doesn't really matter for you guys. So
there it is. So KDBG, why are you playing the greatest blind pick ever? What are you doing?
Okay, so we start off like the instance. If you don't know where it is, okay, it's in the Vale. All right.
Did Tech tell you to say that?
No, but I'm laughing because he starts off the write-up with a video of everyone has AIDS by Team America. So
What?
Okay, so Immerseus, okay, first boss, first encounter, really simple, okay? This guy just stationary, sits in the middle, alright? He's got a spout, okay, that we could do a tank swap on, we probably will. For heroics later, there's a way to not do a tank swap on him. Somebody could just stay on the boss and somebody could just pick up ads. On this encounter, it's void zones spawn at your feet, move out of it. They spawn often, okay? We'll set you guys in groups around the room, and you just set up in that area, and then he's got a corruption bar, okay? And then
Sha
you DPS him to 0, alright? And then he submerges, alright? And when he submerges, this is your chance now to for him to lose corruption, and you kill him by him getting to 0 corruption, basically. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll set you guys up in a room around him. Okay. Think Ragnaros, but in a circle around him. If you haven't seen him, should be following up somewhere, hopefully on some kind of a guide, so you know what I'm talking about. And then when he submerges, all those little void zones get sucked into him, and then that's his corruption.
Guys.
And then he puts out some blobs. Okay, there's green ones and there's red ones. You kill the red ones, you heal the green ones before they get back to the boss. You may have some in your zone where you're set up at. You may not. If you don't, you just help the zones on your left and right. Probably what we'll do is we won't split you guys up all the way around the boss. We'll probably utilize like 2/3 of the room and just ignore 1/3 and say fuck it. Whatever happens there happens, and we don't give a shit. Okay, so it really won't matter. But
Yeah.
that's something that we're planning on doing. Really straightforward, really easy fight, really shouldn't take much to get. If you guys just watch your feet, don't stand in the poop, and it's big black fucking poop, you know, and if you don't stand in it, then you'll be fine. They're called Shaw puddles, okay? Am I missing anything?
And it's kind of like Sulong in the way that the better you are at the second phase, the shorter the fight would be, so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stunnable, CCable.
It's just like the phase. It's like viscous.
They have very little health on normal. We should be able to...
Things like Healing Tide Totem rotation dropped every time so we could help heal off the other ads, you know?
Yeah.
And then, because I think every time he sucks one in, the raid takes damage, right? So...
Yeah, and it's more damage for the DPS one and less for the healer one.
Exactly. So what happens is that, you know, we'll have to have some kind of a raid thing going on, you know, like a Devo, obviously, to help with that, or a Rally and a Devo, to help with that damage coming into him. We probably could have a Rally and a Devo, you know, 3 times, so. And then, but if you kill the ads really quickly, the blobs before they get into them, and it should be fine. Okay, it's no big deal.
I have a question.
And then heal the other ones, yes.
I know Trank can heal the healer ads. Do we know if splash heals like Nature's Vigil and AG work on them or no?
I don't know if they count as friendly NPCs because those are raid-oriented heals, and they're not raid members, so.
Yeah, but Trank normally would only heal people in your raid too. And
Yeah,
I know
that's why we don't know. I don't know if a lot of the smart healers are going to do it yet, honestly. But
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, we were asking in a stream, I think, about that same question, and it was still yet to be determined.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I think the big deal about it is, though, because you have to have healers to heal the raid, then you want healers to actually heal some of the greens. So I think you might have split. I don't think you're going to have healers just raw dog it. Just like free-for-all. So you're going to have really strong single-target healers healing greens while you have like Resto Druids and Resto Shamans on the raid.
This one on Heroic will probably 8 to 9 heal.
Yeah.
Maybe some off-spec healers. People who have off-spec heals, so we may do that just to make sure that we have enough heals to get through that. On Heroic, it's a little bit different. There's ads that come in, and
she also has the Syndragosa debuff. The more you hit her, the more damage you take.
Yep.
Is that a buff she gets, or is that a?
Whenever you're attacking the Sha, the amalgamation up in the phase 1, you get a stacking debuff like Syndragosa. So you take shadow damage based on your stacks. So you kind of like attack it for a while, let your stacks reset, kind of deal. I don't know how strong it's going to be, but that's why you can't just tunnel it.
Pile it up and then immunity the AoE when it comes to it for different classes.
Maybe. It's just called. Yeah, it's only heroic. You can't account for that in normal though. So like you can like probably 5 heal it or 6 heal it in normal, but you gotta like 9 heal it in heroic probably.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that one, and that was really straightforward. Next one is gonna be the protectors, right? So
Yep.
Fallen Protectors next. This fight, guys, is 3 monks basically, and they all have different abilities. Okay, and they all do a thing called Desperate Measure at 66 and 33%, and they must all die at the same time. So we're not going to group them up and AoE them down. We're going to actually, we're going to do it like how we did Council this time around. We just say, this is our target. You can cleave off the rest, but when this one gets to 66, you stop cleaving off the rest, because we don't want them turning to 66. So we can't have, 2 Desperate Measures at the same time or we get fucked, okay? So the 3 NPCs, there's Rook, okay, and there's Sun, and there's Heat, alright? So, real simple, okay, we'll 2-tank this, we'll put Rook and Sun on me, and then we'll put He on Mass, okay? We'll DPS Rook first to 66, okay, and when we can cross-dot everything else, and because Rook and Sun are going to be side by side, you can cleave off to Sun, which is fine, alright?
Yeah, that's Rook when he was good.
Once we get to 66, we start that Desperate Measure, okay? Rook's Desperate Measure, he summons 3 ads, 1 called Misery, 1 Sorrow, and 1 Gloom, and we have to deal with these ads accordingly, okay? Now, Rook has Frontal Nuke Cone, so you'd never want to be in front of him, okay?
Yep.
That's something to keep in mind. These 3 guys' abilities. So Rook's got a Frontal Cone, okay? He's got a... he throws shit on the ground, like any fight, don't stand in shit, and he does a Clash, so which means we can't group up. Okay, so if you have a monk, you know what Clash is. Pretty much turns around, charges you, stuns you, and everybody around you. Okay, so we can't do that. Right, so it's pretty much loose spread around the room. I would say 6 to 8 yards. Okay, and it's really not that big of an area to fight the boss, from what I remember. So it felt really tight. It felt like really tight.
It's like the Ring In achievement on Council now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we'll do that. All right. For the Desperate Measure, okay, we'll stack the raid, and then we'll when he does his Desperate Measure, we'll stack the raid. We'll interrupt Gloom. Okay, so every time Gloom's doing something, we interrupt him.
Defile ground.
Cleave Sorrow and Gloom, and then kill
Inferno
Misery
Strike
last.
and Corruption
Okay,
Shot.
so cleave down Sorrow and Gloom, kill Misery last, and then we're done with that Desperate Measure, and then we move on to the next guy that we're gonna DPS down. Okay, so on that, when we get to Desperate Measure 1, okay. I'll grab the Sorrow and Gloom. Okay, Sam grabs Sorrow and Gloom, is interrupted over to group. Mass grabs Misery. Rook still AoEs in this phase, so you gotta watch out for Rook's AoE, which is the shit he throws out, okay? And don't let him face the group. Sam is what he wrote, okay? Alright, Sun still casts Sha Seer, okay? And we'll talk about Sun's abilities, move out and interrupt, kill Gloom and Sorrow, then Misery. Gloom, Sorrow, Misery on that, okay? So always remember, we're gonna go GSM, okay? GSM, like a satellite. GSM, okay? So Gloom, Sorrow, Misery, and we're Rook first, okay? Sun has a Sha Seer. This is interruptible, okay? If you get targeted with it, you gotta move out of the raid, because if we're grouped up, you gotta fuck the raid, alright? And any points that we are grouped up, there will be points where we will be grouped up, like when we're grouping up for Desperate Measure 1, okay? On Rook, okay?
You said that it's Sun that gives that?
Sun. Okay? Sun also has the Shadow Word Bane. Okay, this has to be dispelled within 3 seconds to prevent AIDS, or you gotta heal through it. Okay? And a Calamity. This is a big raid damage. It says it dispels Bane when she does Calamity. I'm assuming that still works, so... did not test that, so... Alright, so Sun's Desperate Measure, all but tank stack in her bubble. So she puts up a bubble, okay? And then you just gently kill ads, think parasites like on Durimu, okay? So that's how it is, alright? So, anyways, when we get to Desperate Measure 2, which will be on Sun, alright? Because we're going to DPS her to 66 seconds. So we're going to go Rook to 66, Sun to 66, and then obviously he to 66, okay? So when we get to Sun on 66, okay? She starts her channel, raid moves into her bubble, tanks move out, Mass will Donkey Kong barrel toss on the raid to bring ads to him.
Okay.
So,
Or I can top
basically-
that.
or you can top that.
The Donkey Kong barrel toss.
So bring the ads to you, and then slowly we DPS down the ads. Okay, and that's just basically how that's done. And then the last one is he. This is the one that Mass is tanking. He's got a couple of different abilities. He's a rogue, so he's got a Garrett, which is dot removed when he hits 66 and 33%. So
It's a dot that goes out that
Yeah.
hurts people.
yeah, so it sits there on people, and you have to heal through it until he gets to his Desperate Measures, or on his Desperate Measures. And then he's got a Gouge. Turn your back to avoid disorienting. So if you get Gouge on you, okay, you gotta turn your back to him really quickly.
Isn't that just the tank?
It's just
debuff?
me, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why Mass is gonna tank. So we only put one tank on he, so we don't put two. We don't put he and Sun on one tank, so solo tanked. Poisons make poop on the ground. Don't stand in the poop. Obviously, okay. Desperate Measure summons an ad at which will focus whoever has the Mark of Anguish extra action button, even on heroic. Just pass to a monk tank to negate. Well, we don't have that. Okay. So basically, this is something that I don't know how we're gonna deal with it because we haven't talked about it, but I guess we're gonna get an extra action button. It's something that if he reaches you, he probably just kills you.
I don't know about heroic, but it just hits hard, but a tank can take it. I think he just meant send it to the tank that only has one mob on him. I mean on heroic, I'm sure it's different, but
Yeah, we had a Blood Death Knight taking it.
Okay, so then we'll just throw it to Mass since he's only got one ad on him, and then he could handle it. Okay, Rook and Sun on Sam, he on Mass, DPS Rook, blah 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 blah. Okay, repeat until each boss has been brought to 33, and then do that again. Okay, after he does his Desperate Measure, which is his second, which is the raid's 6th Desperate Measure, we can start to evenly DPS on all the bosses. Heal all cast is 15 seconds.
When one of
Is he
hits
saying
zero,
that it's a heal thing that they have to get interrupted on?
So
It's kind of like throwing it forward.
You can't interrupt it, yeah.
Yeah. You have 15 seconds to kill everything. Okay.
Yeah, you have to Romeo and Juliet it, yeah.
Like Mimiron.
Yeah.
Or Memoron,
Okay,
yes.
so again, this is the overview he wrote for us. Was players must do battle with the Brewmaster Rook, Stone Toe, the Rogue, he, and the Priest Sun. As the 3 fallen protectors assault the raid simultaneously, 66-33 at 66 and 33% health remaining. Each protector will perform Desperate Measure. We already talked about that. Manifesting Spirits. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are going on there. There's the fucking which one is the one that looks like Spinning Crane Kick? What does that?
The monk.
That's Rook. It's called Corruption Kick.
Yeah, that corrupt.
He roots himself. He roots himself and does 150 physical damage every second for 4 seconds.
Yeah, see, that's not listed here. So
Yeah, it's called Corruption Kick. Yeah.
Yeah, so Corruption Kick is it listed? Is that heroic only or?
It doesn't say on Wikipedia.
No, it's normal too. It's really easy to get out of.
Yeah, if you get hit by it, it's a curse. You have to dispel the person because it was a 9-second dot on you. That does 75k a second for 9 seconds if you get hit by the kick. The problem is though, that's why this fight is so tumultuous. Is that you have to dodge the Corruption Kick while not standing in the poison, while making sure that the Sha Seers aren't hitting anybody because of the meditation spike, right? Or the Shadow Word Bane. You have to make sure that you have, that dispelled, not standing in the shit, not getting kicked by the shit. And bouncing between 6 desperate measures. One after another.
The Sha Seer, we can have like a Shaman focus it and just interrupt it every time, because that's interruptible. But don't treat it like the fire guy in Omnitron. You need to get out the raid with it, or else you'll just AoE the raid down. But
she immediately starts recasting it once you interrupt her.
Immediately, or is there an allotted period?
Yeah, it's like right after you interrupt it, she starts casting it again.
So you need
it's good for at least the one interrupt to get the person out.
Well, is it an ROS style thing? We need to have multiple interrupters on it, or?
I'm pretty sure it's just not meant to be interrupted, just delayed.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go off.
It's probably something that we don't.
It's only a 5-yard.
She doesn't cast it non-stop through the raid, but if you interrupt one, she'll cast it again right away. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yes. On a new target.
On a new target.
I don't know if it was on a new target.
Well, it's supposed to be random target because it's not a tank debuff.
It's a spread out 5 meters.
Yeah, it's not far
that's
at all.
It's it's barely spread out. Like it's like Primordius. Like don't stand on top of someone or you'll splash them. So it doesn't seem like it's an absurd amount of damage either. Almost doesn't seem worth interrupting when we could spread, unless I guess what you're saying is chain like 8 melee onto it.
Well, I was thinking
and then
2.
Stack. But
the only time
it'll
be
move from like a bunch of other crap.
The only time it'll be dangerous is when Inferno goes out, where you have to stack around somebody, and it's happening.
Yeah, it's best to just recognize that you have it and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to deal with it.
One of the things that a lot of the things in this instance, guys, is going to be like that. Quick reacting to abilities, or you're going to fuck the raid, so you're good on that. So that's... Anything else on that?
There'll be weak res on it.
Yeah. The fight's a clusterfuck, honestly. I think it's easily 6 healed, most likely, so...
Yeah, it's... Just think fucking Council first time around. It's gonna feel like that.
Yeah, just be methodical with it. It'll be chaotic, but it'll slow down a lot once everybody understands what's going on.
Yeah,
so it's just going through the motions kind of thing.
I mean, it's like Illidar Council when you first did it. Like, it's like, oh my god, crazy. But after a while, it gets easy. The thing about it is, though, I think for cross-dot and cleave and AoE is the big deal. I think you need to make sure that none of the other adds that aren't going into a desperate measure are not less than like 75 to 70%, because then you're gonna have problems.
Exactly. Yeah. So you figure if you got one at 80 and then you're at desperate measures 66, that's ideal, because you get through that desperate measure and then you're at you've got whoever's at 80 at like fucking 75 at that point, you're right there to turn into desperate measures. So.
Does Tech have the enrage timers on these yet, or no?
They're not listed.
No, because we don't really think enrage timer is going to be an issue on any of these fucking normals. So
not for normal, I'm saying that, but like that.
But even if we knew them now, they wouldn't be solid for sure. So
yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm sure we'll figure them out.
Yeah, I just know how people like to cross dot and cleave and shit, but like this fight is you can, but you can't. You have to really be patient with it.
You can, but you have to be smart about it.
Otherwise, you kill the raid.
You want the other bosses to go down a little, so it shortens the fight. But if they go down too far, you fuck everyone over.
You don't single target 1 to 66 and ignore the other 2. It just that
correct,
makes no
of course.
Sense. So,
use your brain.
We're going over tier 16. This is the new raid coming out. We're going over every single boss. And like breaking down the strategies and how we handle everything.
You have one.
Not bad.
If I clicked not ready,
would
you have noticed? Would you have noticed? Alright.
I noticed everything.
Uh-oh. GK kink.
Who's
G
that?
kick.
It's not Frost.
That Ravens game, really important.
Hope
that first game was worth it.
Got it. Alright, okay, so let's move on to Norushen.
Norushen.
Tech really didn't give us a write-up of Norushen, but, you know, some of us have tested it, so we know what the fight is about, so we can kind of just give you guys an idea. So Norushen, you don't really fight Norushen, okay? You go into a room, he locks the door, and he says, you can't leave until you deal with this fucking thing that I've pooped out of my
This
ass.
is like growing up with my uncle all over again.
What?
Well,
That explains so much.
Show us on the doll where he touches
So,
you.
this is something that, if you guys remember, we really didn't get any encounters in this tier where you have an energy bar, you know, like Cho'Gall, for example. Okay, so this is
Stack help.
yeah, there you go.
and there's 2 back-to-back now.
When you, yeah, exactly. So now you can have this, and if you have your add-on, which let me move this or move anything or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
All right, so make sure those are up to date. You'll have the bar. It's a corruption bar. Okay, everybody starts off with 75 corruption on this fight. Okay, and you can be purified. You can gain a buff called purified when you get to 0 corruption. Okay, but you gain. There are ways to gain. Excuse me. There are ways to gain corruption, and there are ways to drop corruption.
The patch comes out on Tuesday, Smoochie.
So you want to drop, all right?
But yes,
Players start with the encounter with 75.
we don't go dark for
Corruption.
progression.
On this level
You will
of
see
corruption,
everything:
it'll inflict
normal,
90%
heroic,
less damage to the
achievements, all of it.
amalgam, the poop.
Amalgam, yeah.
of corruption. That's what you're going to actually be fighting. Okay, when player reaches 0 points of corruption remaining, they become purified and will inflict normal damage to the amalgam. Okay, so pretty much that's how it works. Okay, and how do you get to that point? So there are some different abilities. Okay, and I'll just go through the abilities here, and you guys could list them out. This is straight from Wowpedia. Okay, there's a tank swap. Okay, no big deal. We'll deal with that. Okay, there's void zones. Okay, don't stand in them. Amalgam creates a zone of corruption that extends outward and slowly turns in place. All players caught in the path of the corruption will suffer 100,000 shadow damage. Okay, and probably gain corruption. Okay,
Everything that hits you does, yeah.
everything that hits you, gains corruption. Fusion, every expelled corruption that reaches the amalgam. Amalgam of corruption will increase the damage of amalgam inflicted by 5% for 15 seconds. So that's something that we'll deal with later. We'll talk about with the expelled corruptions. Okay, Icy Fear, 100,000 frost damage to all players every 3 seconds, and this damage increases the amalgam's losses.
He has an
As
aura.
it loses health. It's an aura. Okay.
Yeah.
So, 50% health remaining, the amalgam starts to fray. Starting with 50% health remaining, and every 10% health lost thereafter, the amalgam releases an unleashed manifestation of corruption. An ad, basically. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so you get a thing where you're going to be able to interact with some light, okay? You'll be transported to where you'll get your own challenge, okay? If you're a DPS, you have a DPS challenge. If you're a healer, a heal challenge. And if you're a tank challenge, okay? When you successfully... Excuse me?
I was saying, like, what do we need to expect for that? Do we need to, like, have interrupts ready? What are we
Yeah,
looking
you've
at?
Gotta
for that?
kill things before time.
The DPS one...
You'll see.
Kill things, walk through the fucking orbs that are left behind, and then get out. Okay?
Don't kill them all at once though, as
Yeah.
DPS, because every time you kill one, it goes up top, and
The rest
it
of the
does
raid
damage.
deals with it.
Yeah,
the rest
so
of it
you
is-
wanna kill them one at a time, like as a boomkin. You don't want to dot them all and nuke them all
Oh, so
down.
it's
Like
Yeah.
Max
Single
kill
style,
one.
basic.
Yeah, just kill one.
I don't know
Like-
exactly how many we're gonna send down. I don't think we talked about it, but we didn't determine. I think we were saying 3 DPS, a tank, and a heal, maybe, or 2 DPS, a tank, and a heal at a time.
Yeah,
So,
I wonder if
figure
it's
that
more
out.
like the stupid troll in Tier 14 where you do a group at a time.
yeah. So, I know we want to send a tank at every. Like we always want to have a tank down and a tank come up, tank down, tank come up for the other thing. Okay. So the 3 tests. Okay, and I'll go through the 3 tests. The Serenity one. This is the DPS test. Okay, to complete the challenge, players must defeat the elements of corruption, manifestation of corruption, essence of corruption, fragment of corruption. Whenever one of these elements of corruption is defeated, it will be unleashed into the normal realm. Failure to complete the challenge will unleash all remaining elements of corruption to the normal realm at once. So, as you can imagine, it's always better to do them one at a time. Manifestation of corruption. These shock creatures repeatedly cast Tear Reality, which inflicts shadow damage to all enemies in a cone in front of the caster. Okay. Essence of Corruption. These lesser Sha creatures repeatedly cast Expel Corruption, which fires a ball of corrupted energies in a straight line, dealing 80,000 shadow damage to anyone it strikes. So, avoid the balls. Don't be in front of the manifestation. Kill them, and then get through. That's basically it. Okay.
Whenever you go down, like for the DPS challenge or whatever, it's gonna be that probably have to assist target and just go around the room together and assist off somebody.
They don't go together, do they?
What I'm saying, like you're not gonna go down and like willy nilly and kill a whole bunch randomly parts of the room. You want to have like one at a time dying. So you want to assist.
No, what I'm saying is that
I think you each get your own room, no matter how many people go down.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be. You're right. It might not be.
It's your personal challenge. It's not like, it's not like what's his face?
Not like Young.
Not on Yog, yeah. Okay.
Okay. I thought it was the group thing because you see multiple people down there.
You go down there.
I guess you just can't interact with any of their
Because
things.
there's damage. You don't want to get yourself killed down there.
Okay.
Because if you do, then all the ads are coming up on top. You're gonna fuck us. Okay. And then you're not resetting your corruption either. All right. So kill the ads. Don't be in front of the big ad. Kill the lesser ads, and then go around the room and do what you need to do. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, you don't have to kill all the lesser either. I don't even think on 25 man. You just, I think it's like 5 out of 6, depending on your corruption level. You don't have to kill them all either, so don't just automatically assume you need them all to die when you go down there.
Yeah,
just kill one, pick up an orb, kill another.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kill as many as possible. So some of you will be able to kill them all. Some of you won't. Just it's the way it is.
I think it's as less as possible to put less up top, isn't it? Because you complete your challenge once you drop all your Sha corruption, or whatever it's called, once you drop your bar to 0, picking up orbs. So I think you want to put less up as possible while getting out of there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the healing test. Players of the healer role face the test of resilience. To complete this challenge, players must defeat the elements of corruption present. Greater corruption, major corruption, lesser corruption. Healers are aided by several allies while looking within. Failure to complete the challenge will unleash all remaining elements of corruption into the normal realm. Okay, so what happens here? You pretty much have to heal dudes down there. Okay, so greater corruption will strike behind themselves and leave a lingering corruption on random targets during the test. Okay. Disheartening Laugh, this is 125k to all enemies. Pit of Despair inflicts 130k shadow damage every second to all enemies within this area. Lingering Corruption, and this has the little dispel icon on it. Inflicts 50,000 damage every second. I think you can dispel whoever. So heal the fuck out of the ads down there, okay? And let them do the killing. And it's just basically a heal test. I haven't seen any videos on it, but I'm sure if you guys do your research, you'll find one.
Yeah, I think, do you get orbs for healing them, or when the ads kill the other ads?
When your friendly people kill the other ads.
When the friendly people kill the
Yeah, I went down as a healer, and there's just like 3 little homies down there killing ads with you. They actually do take they actually take damage while they're down there.
The higher health they have, the more damage they do.
Yeah, and they continue to take damage, so you have to continue to heal them. Apparently, like, Disc Priest will just smite, because that heals them and does damage to the mob.
Yeah.
But the mobs do more damage than you could do. And they continue to take damage, so you have to just keep healing. I didn't see them drop any orbs on mine, though, because everybody wiped up top.
Yeah, okay.
I was heroic testing. I don't know. I went down just to see what it was like.
I think the one thing, too, that to make sure that, I don't know if Tech didn't put this out there, though, I don't know how you separate it up, though, before you go to the tank test, is that when you complete your test and you're purified, those DPS especially are on the boss only, but if you're not purified, you're on the ads that are popping up, correct?
That would make sense. That would be the most damage from every player, yeah.
Because if you're purified, you should not be attacking the ads that people are making come up, because that's a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're purified, you're on the boss. If you're not purified, you're on the ads that are coming up. The ads, when they die, they leave behind a pool, a corruption pool. So those pools, we will, the tank coming up will absorb those pools. I think is what we talked about last time. So, and that's basically it. That's just rinse and repeat all the way through. On Norushen.
The ads are a
Say
little
anything?
different. The ones that come up top have abilities, but I don't think they really matter.
And there's an interrupt one too, I think. And then the ball that they shoot out can be pet tanked, so it doesn't reach the boss, I think, but that might be more important on heroic than normal.
Yeah, it's Expel Corruption. It's the ones that are down below that shoot the line. When they're up top, they shoot the line at the boss. And it'll either do 150k to the first person it hits, like a pet. But if it hits the amalgamation, it hits him, and I would imagine it heals him. It doesn't say what it does, but...
I think it
makes
increases
him
his
AoE.
aura or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
That could be it.
Every Expel Corruption that reaches the Amalgam of Corruption will increase the damage the Amalgam inflicts by 8% for 50 seconds.
Oh, wow, okay,
so pet tank in front of it. I
Pet
think
tanks,
was
yeah.
the idea.
You could face
Like
tank it with a
pet tank,
cooldown. Yeah, you could face tank it, but...
Yeah, it's just literally a pet standing between the mob and the boss, not actually the pet tanking anything.
Yes.
Just there to soak, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's,
like
that
that
one is... This fight right here is going to be like our real first individual responsibility test fight, you know?
Yes.
So, we have players that are very strong at this, and we have those that aren't very strong at this, and this is one of those fights that will expose that. So, we have to be sure that, you know, we rotate players down to... Everybody's got to do the test, because everybody's got to drop their corruption. I mean, there's just no way around it, right? Everybody's got to purify. So, that's what needs to happen. And like we said, you come back up, you're straight on the boss. If you have corruption, you're on the ads.
Because if you go... Hunter Corruption turns you into a Sha creature, and you're mind controlled the whole fight, right?
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, you're done.
You can't onk or anything. It's like
No, yeah.
it's like Yog.
It's like the one other thing was it? Well, that's it, I guess. So,
Sha of Pride.
Sha of Pride next. This fight is rather entertaining, but it's got its own things as well. So,
what a terrible
Sha of
picture
Pride's
of him.
cool because it's got the whole prison mechanic and whatnot. So, you walk into the room. Okay, you have the Sha in the middle, and then you got 4 prisons around. 4 prisons, right? So around the room. And these prisons, we still will have to set up 5 groups. I don't know why he wants 5, but I guess we could just set up 5 groups for prisons, and then deal with this. Let me see here.
Is that DC or did you guys stop talking?
No, I stopped talking. Hold on.
Yeah, he's reading.
I accidentally closed out the fucking thing.
There's like a rotation you have to do to get the gift of the gift of the Titans to like deal with the mechanics to stay low on Pride. Because this fight is the same thing with the corruption bar. It's the same exact thing. You start at 0, but as you get to breakpoints 25, 50, and 75, and 100, you basically AOE the raid.
You cannot drop your energy or your Pride at all unless you hit 30%. Well, the boss hits 30%.
Didn't the boss kill Norushen at some point?
No, yeah. That's the thing about this, though. You don't want any Pride until then. Which is another single, responsibility thing, because if you get hit by a lot of different abilities and get tons of Pride, you're going to help kill a raid, or lead to the raid dying, so...
Okay, alright, so again, like we were saying earlier, this is another one where you have that bar that you gotta track. So everybody starts off with 0 Pride, alright? Whenever you're hit by an ability from Sha of Pride, or one of its minions, you get 5 Pride, okay? As players increase 25, 50, 75, 100, Swelling Pride will inflict additional effects on that player. So think, again, Cho'Gall, okay? To combat that, there's a thing called Gift of the Titans. Norushen gifts players with immunity to Pride, alright? This is just a straight buff that you get. In addition, if all players with Gift of the Titans are within 8 yards of each other, they gain Power of the Titans, okay? So obviously we're going to set up a spot where when you get Gift of the Titans, this is where you go, okay? So Power of the Titans, if all players with Gift of the Titans stands within 8 yards of each other, Power of the Titans increase haste and all damage they deal by 35%. Obviously, this is going to be a very important part of the fight that you guys do this, alright? When Sha of Pride reaches 100 energy, it releases a wave of dark energy. This is 350k shadow damage to all players. Something will just cool down through, giving them 5 pride. In addition, Swelling Pride will trigger a secondary effect on any player with 25 or more. Okay, so here's what happens, alright? From 25 to 49 pride, alright? A shock corruption is created at their location. After 3 seconds, the corruption explodes, inflicting 250k shadow damage to everybody within 5 yards. Think a bomb. Okay, you drop a bomb, you drop a poop, and it blows up. Okay?
Like Deathwing.
Yeah, exactly. At 50 to 74, they create a projection 15 yards from their current location. Projections explode after 8 seconds, inflicting 150k shadow damage to all players, unless the projection's creator is standing within it. Any player damaged by a projection's explosion gains 5 pride. So basically, if you get to 50 pride and you make a projection, you gotta go stand in it, and then it blows up, and it doesn't damage everybody, and you just take 5 pride out of it. Okay? Aura of Pride. This is when you get to 75 to 99. Okay? And these things only happen when he does Swelling Pride, right? So when he casts Swelling Pride, like, these abilities don't happen when you get to 75 or 50 or 25. Like, they only happen
when he hits 100 energy.
When he hits 100
if you fall into
yeah, if you fall in these categories.
And it's basically every 100 seconds, so...
Yeah.
And there's phases of the fight where you have to deal with multiple of these, because you'll just get that much pride on people, because of Gift of the Titans is just not... It's kind of random.
So, great news. When you get to 100 pride, your damage and healing is increased by 50%. That's awesome, right? But when he does Swelling Pride, you're mind controlled and it's fucked. And your health is increased, doubled up basically, and we have to kill you. So, not a good thing to use. It's that thing on Cho'Gall where you just don't get to 100 and sit there. They got rid of that, so...
Unless you're a fire mage.
Was it fire mages back then?
Pyroblast spam.
Instant
spam. Yeah, Pyro. I remember Pyro.
And we'd have to disc bubble him and...
Yeah. Okay. Mark of Arrogance, this is a dispellable effect. Okay, this needs to be dispelled, but whoever dispels it gains 5 pride. Okay, so there are times where people will be immune to gaining pride, and it'll be a healer part of that. They should be the ones dispelling, so we'll set that up. Okay. Attack ability, the Wounded Pride. Current Sha of Pride wounds the current target. This is just a tank swap.
Moth.
We'll deal with that.
Get out of here.
Random Manifestation of Pride blasts a random player, inflicting 175k damage. Just a random blast around the room here and there. Last word, when a Manifestation of Pride dies, it gives 5 pride to the closest 2 people. So, basically, you could kind of work that pride if you're already on high pride, and we have an ad, the Manifestation of Pride is out, we gotta kill them. The one thing I saw on PTR is that they want to kill these fucking ads, like, super fast, you know? Like, silence, because you can silence the Mocking Blast, okay? And they'll be extremely important in Heroic because it just fucking rapes, okay? And then you want to get on the Manifestation right away, you want to silence them, and you want to kill them. So think Ring of Peace, think stuns, think anything, interrupts, anything, okay? And kill them right away, alright? And then it just, the closest 2 people get 5 pride, okay? Self-reflection, the Sha of Pride causes 5 players to reflect on their own actions, creating a reflection of pride of the location, which each take self-reflection. The Sha focuses on a player with higher levels of pride, only targeting those with 25, 50, and 75 pride on them. I don't know. Reflect, I guess. And then the prisons. Okay, so around the room there'll be 4 different prisons. Okay. He'll activate 2 time prisons, trapping a player inside each of them. Okay, on Heroic he does all 4, right? And then, as the prisons activate, it releases a burst of Sha energy that inflict 250k shadow damage to all players within 12 yards, knocking them back and giving them 5 pride. Prison players are stunned, suffering 80,000 damage. Blah blah blah. Players remain stunned until all the locks surrounding the prison have been activated. Title locks are activated by having players stand within the lock's rune and remaining there until prison is deactivated. So pretty much, right, you see these prisons, there'll be like 3 little line runes around them. Okay, every time one of those runes, there has to be 1 player on each one. Can't be the same guy running around and activating all 3 of them. Has to be one guy on each one to release the dude in the middle.
A minimum of 12 at one given time. For all 4 on Heroic, at least.
Yeah, for all 4 on Heroic, exactly. 12 people. A minimum of 12. So you gotta think, there'll be people who are grouped up because they have Power of the Titans. They won't be able to do that, okay? And there'll be people who, that are tanks that won't be able to do that, and there'll be people that are trapped that won't be able to do that. So we just set up 5 groups, or 4 groups of, 4 groups of 5, 4 groups of 6, something like that. 5 to 6 people in each group, and this is your responsibility, this is your quadrant, this is where you're set up, and then you take care of that right away, okay?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
For that fight, as far as like those groups are concerned, are you like, at least for Heroic, are we gonna have designated people soaking the rifts while people who are like don't have immunities are like latching the locks on the prisons, or no?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
For Heroic, yeah. Because the rift soaking in Heroic is gonna be so fucking like key, because if you get overwhelmed by rifts, you get fucked really hard. So
Yeah.
watching Midwinter pull it over and over and over, it was the rifts all the time. It was just the faster they got on them, the easier the fight would get. But it was still a hard fight for them. I think the damage their output is still a little too high, so we may see a change by the time it's live. But yeah, that's pretty much how that one is. And of course, yeah, people with immunities like rogues, pallies,
Hunters,
hunters,
pallies.
yeah, we'll be able to handle the rifts. So what we'll do is we'll set up our groups the first time around. We'll say, okay, these are the primary, these are the people who have these 3 in this group, if have to unlock, or something to that effect. Okay. So, let's see. Reaching attack, the orb of light. This is all heroic. Okay, final gift Norushen dies. He purifies all players, reduces their pride to 0. Okay,
That's
so
30%. This is
that's
Zerg.
30% in Zerg. Yeah, and that's when we'll probably hero, right? So
Yeah.
okay, so the strat write up really quick. So after I've gone through all those abilities, I know it's a lot, but you stack up for a buff, move out, and move for the ad waves. Prisons have to stack on marks to break prisons. We'll set up 5 groups for a rapid break. Okay, bursting pride, 100 energy. 25, 50 stand in circle, 75 rate damage, 100 MC. Anyways, that's just the ability. Okay, 25, 50, 25 and 50 stand in circle, 75 is rate damage, 100 is MC. Players start the encounter with 0 pride, blah blah blah, give tie-ins, blah 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 blah. Okay, and we've already talked. So it's pretty much handling your pride. How do you the only way you kind of reduce your pride is with gift of the tie-ins, right? So
you can't reduce it. You just be immune to it. Yes.
Immune to it. Yeah. So it's pretty much just a race against, everybody having so much fucking pride, that it's, it becomes impossible, right?
I think he's a rather fast encounter. Like he's a 6-minute, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not like a long fight, but yeah, it's very much so because every 100 seconds he does his AOE. So I think there's 4 of them in the entire encounter, maybe less. So, but yeah, I think he's like a 6-minute enrage, probably something like that. But yeah, the only way you lose pride is when he goes 30%. He kills Norushen, and we all get cleansed, and then we basically just race. It's the exact same fight, but we just reset our pride. So
yeah, exactly. So 30% reset pride, and then nuke. Okay, so next boss is Galakras.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a 2-tower fight. This one's pretty straightforward. So this is when we get done with these.
What the hell? It's like a flying ant.
We head out to Orgrimmar, take a boat, Durotar, yeah. So we get there, and the whole fucking army is there, and we gotta, after we clear the trash, we'll start the fight, and there'll be 2 towers, one on the left, one on the right. Okay, and there'll be some gnomes like trying to open the fucking towers. Okay, so the one on our left, which will be like the south tower, I think. Either way, the one on the left will open up first, and then what we'll do is, and the strat that I'm thinking of doing, and is we'll start the fight. We'll keep getting waves of ads. Okay, so Mass will be tanking all the fucking ads. Everything that's coming out, Mass is tanking. You keep getting like trash ads, you get some named guys. They drop banners. Fucking kill the banners right away because that's gonna be like so important, right? So you kill the banners, and then there's a blizzard that gets cast by Jaina. So you put all the ads in the fucking blizzard. They take more damage there too. All right. So it's just an AOE fest. Fucking ads. And then you get some bigger ads. You do interrupts. You know, they cast, they drop banners. You do interrupts, and you do that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like all of Highjaw in like one wave. I think you killed Shamans and Flag Bearers are the #1 priorities, and Demolishers when they're up. You always want to kill Shamans and Flag Bearers first.
Yeah. Shamans, Flag Bearers, and then Demolisher. When the Demolisher comes out, so now the South Tower will already be open. The door will be open, okay? If you go and try to pull those guys out of the tower, they won't come out, all right? We'll set up a group of a tank, 2 healers, and some range DPS. Probably take all the hunters to this one because they can sit on top by the tower and just DPS down, and they could, you know, and then when they need to jump in the tower, they can. So that's probably something that we'll do. What we'll do is we'll, as soon as the door opens up, we'll go inside right away with like a group of the tank, the 2 healers, and like 3 DPS, and we'll kill the 3 ads that are at the bottom. All right, and we'll keep the hunters and the ranged just fucking like nuking shit from there. They have to kill the Demolisher before we go to the top. All right, kill the Demolisher because the Demolisher is nuking the top. Okay, and that's bad. And then we go to the top of the tower, and then there's a dude in the middle. All right, so the dude is very simple. He does a fucking conal, and you see it. All right, he runs to the center of the fucking platform on the top of the tower, and he does a conal. All right, you get hit by that conal, you get knocked off the tower, and you probably die. All right, in LFR, it didn't kill you when you got knocked off, but you get like 20% health when you land. All right, so avoid the cone, kill the named guy. All right, and then kill off whatever is left over from like some archers up there. All right, and then somebody jumps in the fucking cannon. All right, the dude who jumps in the cannon starts shooting down the fucking drakes. Okay. By the time we finish the first tower, we're gonna go jump in the next tower because that door is already open. Okay, and the next Demolisher is already coming out. All right, so we do that, and then we go in that tower, and we do the same thing. It's just a different time, different thing. This time, the chick up there in that tower, she does a few other abilities, but obviously the same conal. So just don't be in her conal ability, and avoid that. Okay.
Now, so I was wondering about so there are like officers. Are the officers on the towers different every time you go in?
I think they're called lieutenants. Yeah.
Yeah. Those just come with the waves, right? They're separate from the dudes on the top of the towers, correct?
The lieutenants up top?
Well, that's what I'm wondering because there are
There's
multiple
guys up top and on bottom.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Yeah. There are 4 dudes.
Yeah, there are bottom lieutenants and there's top lieutenants. They're like mini bosses.
Mini bosses,
yes. Yeah. Okay, so after we finish off the next tower, pretty much, and then you've got both cannons taken over. You bring down Galakras. All right, Galakras comes down. We could group up behind the boss, but loosely. There's a lot of AOE in that phase. Detected or anything for this one, but anyways, and then he does I think like what was that boss before Blood Queen? That council there.
The princes or whatever.
The princes, yeah. Anyway, so he does the same fireball where the more people it runs through, the smaller it gets by the time it gets to its target. So if you get targeted by that, obviously just run the fuck away, all right? And then, and then kite it through the raid as much as possible. But run away, all right? And then it lands, and then you come back and raid. And it's just lots of high damage, raid damage. We start rolling cooldowns and just looking the boss down. I think there's a tank swap mechanic as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much once you get to Galakras, you should be able to kill it because he doesn't have a lot of mechanics. It's AoE damage and the ball thing, and that's it, really. I think. And
there's a lot of fucking AoE damage from the ads.
It's all just
the ads are just they have a lot of damage. So
yeah, and the big thing about the first phase is really taking advantage of the heroes, the Flame Strike and the Blizzard and stuff like that. Yeah, keeping them next to Varessa and. Yeah.
So I know this is a lot of information. We're just it's throwing it all on you. It's hard to absorb it all without being there. But hopefully that we give you this stuff, and then when you get there, you're like, oh yeah, I remember what he said, because we'll go over it again, pre-pulls, right? So,
yeah.
And if you have to, just look at Bay's VOD tomorrow. We're fucking doing this. He's streaming it. The thing's gonna be up. Fucking look through it. If you have questions, they should be out there.
I
or
mean,
just go to Wildpedia. Read
Wowpedia is really simple.
Yeah. Let's see. Just want to make sure. You know, the allies help a lot. You definitely like when Galakras comes down. We're gonna try to pull her into because all the allies they go and reset, and they don't get back into action until they're pulled. I'm pretty sure that Jaina sits and blizzards the same spot over and over and over and over again. So,
she's super smart.
And there's a flame strike too, so you can put them in a flame strike or put them in a blizzard. Okay, and those are always happening. Okay, and the ads that come out, they try to kill these, your friendly NPCs. You just gotta kill them and tank them before that happens. Okay.
She's kind of dumb. She's not as smart as she was back in Hyjal. That's for damn sure.
She was smart in Hyjal?
That aura, though. Those water elementals. Come on now.
Okay, so the two top ranking officials is the Master Cannoneer guy and the Lieutenant General Grukak and Master Cannoneer, whatever. So there's the knocking players back within each hit. Yeah, the knockback. They both have a clap or a knockback. Okay, the two named guys at the bottom is a higher enforcer Thranok. Okay,
Korga the snake.
Yeah, and he does a nuke on a tank basically. 5 random players with the 45ers pulls them to his feet. Oh, a chain. Okay, whatever. And yeah, so and then anyways, go through this one. I don't really have to explain. So pretty much gone through the fight. So Galakras, just like we had talked about when she comes down, I think it's a she. Anyways, 50,000 damage every second, and for the orb and the pulsing flame is just fire damage throughout the whole fucking encounter. Yeah. Oh, and it increases just like it did on the fucking spider in Firelance. Beth? Yeah, Beth.
Beth-Talak, yeah.
Yeah, so that's increasing. As the stacks get higher, we'll start having to utilize more raid cooldowns. Okay, so that's that. So, next up.
A giant scorpion.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Freaking Scorponok. Yeah.
Okay,
I hate this fight.
This fight is going to be really a pain in the fucking ass, okay? Because, this fight's got... This Iron Juggernaut has got two phases, right? It's got its siege mode and demo mode?
Assault mode.
Assault mode, okay. Yeah, so assault mode and siege mode. So basically,
tank mode and run like hell mode.
Yeah, tank mode, exactly. Tank mode, run like hell mode. Don't stand in the fucking oil, alright? Get away from the bombs.
Don't stand in the oil.
Sometimes if you have an immunity or a cooldown, you should be able to, you ride a bomb, you blow it up, whatever. Okay? There's a lot of damage there. And then the siege mode, or second mode is, I think that's siege mode.
Yep.
It's called run like hell mode.
Yeah, but there's a knockback too, so you gotta find a nice spot to stand so you don't get knocked way the fuck out. But yeah, run like hell mode, again, still have to deal with everything
quick question on that, I didn't get to test that. Whenever you're in the knockback, is it possible to use I guess like a blink or a disengage or something like that to counteract it?
Yes.
Or is it just to get knocked back?
I watched a video of it. You can do those moves, but once you get hit with the knockback again, it's like it's a constant knockback. Right? Like you can disengage backwards, but then you'll get slowly knocked right back anyway. To reposition maybe to get out of some shit, possibly, but beforehand you need to know what you're getting knocked back into. A lot of the things I noticed about this fight is that it's the entire front gate of Orgrimmar. This area is probably the biggest we've ever encountered a boss in. It's huge. And you can get knocked back like 200 fucking yards away, and then you're out of the fight for how long, right? It's ridiculous how big this area is we can fight him in.
But do you join Baron's chat?
Baron's chat, yeah. Have fun with that.
That's the ads on the fight. Chat troll.
What? Sorry, what was that?
I said that's the ads in the fight. Chat trolls.
The chat trolls.
Chuck Norris jokes to get back in the instance.
I don't know what Tech wrote about this fight, but really it's just there's so much shit to avoid. If it looks bad, don't touch it. That's basically the long and short of this fight.
Yeah, he pretty much said we can use extra tanks to deal with the mines.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that we could do. We just, we'll have hopefully
Bears
Blaze back.
have
Blade,
so much
bears,
armor and
whatever.
helps.
Yeah, and just fucking deal with the
Yeah.
mines that way, and just get rid of them. So.
Yeah, we could have like Vespin and Sin, Bear, just
Yeah.
They
tank the
came
whole
so
thing for
fast
us.
on the.
We could have Gene Jacket
they-
again, and he could get knocked into Piranha from Terrace from there.
It was like 6 at a time or something, right? Or a little bit more, but it was too much just to plan immunities through.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drops a bunch. It says several, and they go to a random player as they bury themselves in the ground. But how long do they last before they detonate?
Not long. You
Yeah, 10.
don't really have that long to get there and soak it. Like, I think
Yeah.
one person could soak 2, maybe.
No way.
I thought on 25 it was balanced around having 2 tanks soaking 2 and the whole raid eating 1, for the most part.
I think it might be, because the individual explosion here is 850,000 damage, and the AoE is 500k.
But that's without mitigation, and
Of course.
it's physical. So,
Physical damage, yes.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
you get like
Like, ideally, there's like a tank swap on it. When we do the swap, the other tank goes and just starts fucking.
Yeah, he has melt armor. Melt armor, yep.
Yeah. Crawler mines. So right up on crawler mines, just so you guys know, the Iron Juggernaut releases several crawler mines to secure the scurry in the direction of a random player, burying themselves partially into the ground. Once they burrow, they begin detonation sequence, and you'll see a bomb with a fucking bomb icon. Like in the scenarios that you see that have the
Highway
bombs.
sea or high seas or whatever.
High seas, exactly. And they blow up. Okay. Once they burrow, they begin detonation. At the end of the sequence, they will detonate for 500k physical damage to all players. Okay. So obviously that's bad. A particularly brave player may stomp a burrowed mine into the ground. Okay, stifling the explosion, but causing a localized detonation at their feet. The explosion will inflicts 850k physical damage. Clothies, no, not for you.
Yeah, that's like the bears doing it.
Yeah, bears.
Bear in
Is
the
it
bear in
possible
one
to-
tank. Yeah,
I was going to say, is it possible to interact with that whenever you have an immunity or no?
I would assume so.
Yeah, you can. You can eat a couple.
Yeah.
Like
Shadow
we
Priest can
were
disperse and click it.
we were dark bargaining it, and
Yeah,
it kind of worked with lesser. It does about 1 million damage. that you
Yeah,
have to
I
get
could do
through.
him.
I know with bubble and deterrence, and it's kind of iffy whether you can or can't interact with stuff. So
It has to be percentage based or full immunities. It can't be like Cloak of Shadows because it's a physical attack. Like I can like double shield wall and I can take one, or yep, or bears.
So again, when we get you DPS him until he gets into siege mode, is he on a timer between modes?
Pretty sure it's a timer.
All right, so when he gets into siege mode, he's untankable at this point. So you don't tank him, you just run like crazy. All right, he drills into the earth, causing earthquakes, 50k nature damage every second to all players, and shock pulses. The shock pulses knock you back. We already talked about that. Cannons, shoulder-mounted turrets on the Iron Juggernaut fire high into the sky. Random players inflicting 100k damage within 6 feet of each blast, 6 yards of each blast, and you could probably avoid some of that. A cutter laser. The tail cannon now focuses on a player trait. So this is just a laser beam you run away from. All right. So think Amber Shaper laser. Okay. And then the explosive tar. And this is tar that just fucking shoots out everywhere, and then it slows you if you run into it. If a tar puddle comes in contact with a laser, and now we're bad. And this is 500k damage to everybody. So you don't kite the fucking laser into a tar puddle. So which means that where you're standing, you always have to be aware of the tar puddles around you, and if you get picked for a laser...
What piercing is that, Francis?
And you have to find... You cannot kite it through
Post a picture.
puddle. That's a lot of damage. Okay, we can maybe get through and survive if we fucking, call it out that, hey, there's just... I have to go through this puddle. Okay, so... And that's basically the fight. He goes back to the first mode, and it's rinse and repeat. Really not a hard fight. Should be fine. Okay, 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just you have to make sure where you're standing before the seismic activity, because you can get knocked into fucking Kingdom Come. And then you're dead because you can't get healed because you're, in Timbuktu. So, yeah, finding a nook on one of the buildings or the fences or the shit in the room.
I think moving the boss 2 or 3 times through the fight might make it easy, so we don't have to...
Yeah, we'll definitely... Again, lots of room. Lots of room.
Yeah, the room is stupid big.
Okay, here's where to check see who's still awake.
I'm not awake. And yeah, what Fiend said about, I mean, is deterrence a flat percentage-based damage mitigation? No, I thought it was like parry and dodge.
It's all sorts of bullshit. Like,
Okay.
it's actually the very last cooldown you do not want the raid to hinge on you.
Yeah, again, no. For soaking the Crawler Mines, it'll most likely be like the tank not tanking the boss, and like we'll probably have like Sin or someone, I would assume, that can do it. And then anyone with huge percentage-based mitigations can also soak them.
Or huge armor cooldowns.
Or huge armor cooldown, yeah.
It's more that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well,
even
then
though...
we wouldn't pick deterrence.
What is this thing?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Does
it's a personal at this point. It's not something we're going to put the raid on.
We're gonna just go with 4 tanks and say fuck it.
Yeah.
Put the raid on my back, dude.
Dope.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a cooldown as a bear for that.
No, not if you have enough armor.
Not as a bear. As a
Sin's just gonna run
druid
over.
with Heart of the Wild, you need Heart of the Wild, but...
Dude, Sin's gonna run over, crit him once, and then just jump on mines laughing.
Well,
Let's not even kid ourselves.
I'm gonna have like 1,000,000 help with agi trinkets on the PTR. So I mean, well, lives.
All right, so next fight is the
Dark Shaman.
Dark Shaman.
Fuck this fight.
Yeah, no.
If you ever had a fight where you just couldn't see shit, get ready for this one.
Welcome to Dark
Because
Shaman.
It is fucked up. It is like extremely fucked up. Okay, so there'll be some tank swaps where we have to do a quick swap between the 2 ads, but basically we start the fight. There's 2 shamans and 2 dogs. Kill the fucking dogs right away, and then get on the shamans. Okay. There's shared health pool, right? Shared health pool, or only
Yes.
during Spirit Link?
They're spirit linked, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But still good to put them on top of each other for a certain splash damage to increase damage there, okay? And then they have a lot of totems. They just fucking drop totems. They drop a shit ton of totems, alright? And all these totems have, like, crazy different abilities that you just have to stand... Don't stand in, okay? The slime ads is going to be one of the most, like, challenging parts. This is something that we'll have to probably, drop a banner on and then just, like, kite away and let you guys kill them right away. Because they're fucking bad, okay?
You want to redo it, Francis?
Probably have to do 100 slows since they nerfed that lock AoE.
I could, since I'm going no wield frost, I could just Howling Blast and kite and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that could be done too, because they're bad. I mean, they're like really, really, really bad.
Yeah, monk tank.
Yeah, I saw where monk tank just like kites on with the fucking keg, so, but we won't have that because Mass will be back on his warrior, bitch.
Second for that.
If he was here listening, he'd know what I'm saying about him. You
No more Kamehameha. Damn it.
Alright, so that's the poison mist totem. Obviously, just like it sounds. It's a poison mist, okay?
No, it's
When
not.
you drop this totem, that's when, you don't want to send that. The Foul Stream, that's the one that does the ads. The Ash Flare totem is ash falling out of the sky, and then a big bomb falls there, so you just don't want to stand in it. It's a big red thing. Okay. The Rusted Iron totem, that's heroic only. Okay. Froststorm Strike, this is a tank ability where we're going to have to swap on. The Mist, which I talked about, is a mist that does a lot of damage. You don't want to be in it. And then you get a debuff where you take more nature damage, so don't be in it. The Foul Stream, I think the Foul Stream is placed on a tank, and I think that's when we have to do a tank swap and one tank just runs away, and then we'll figure that out. Okay, the Ashen Wall. This is a wall of fucking elementals. If you pass by, he'll punch you. One of the elementals will punch you. They're just standing there. I mean, it's fucked up. You just walk by and it punch, and they all start beating on you. So you just
Is
gotta
it like
stay away.
Spirit Kings? With the, like...
Yeah, but the Spirit Kings, they move. This one, they don't move. They just stand there and they look at you.
This
What
fight
is
is
a fraternity?
This fight is a. Also, this fight is a.
Clusterfuck of round effects. That's just
Yeah, it's all soft and rage abilities though, because you basically have to keep moving slowly, and eventually the whole fucking room you're in is just full of garbage. But this fight takes place in like the main hall, the Times Square of Orgrimmar, basically, right?
Valley of Strength.
Yeah, Valley of Strength. There you go. Right by the auction house and shit. It's the whole area. Like when you walk into the gate, when like the Nixie heads there, it's that whole area up to like the hill. You can go everywhere.
Yeah, Bay makes it sound like it's louder than what bigger than what it is. It becomes very small very quick.
Well, yes, but there's so much shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much shit. So, and there's like fucking purple shit on the ground you don't stand in. There's red shit you don't stand in. There's green shit you don't stand in. I mean, you just gotta move around and not stand in shit, you know?
But if your mass is that just brown and brown and brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the fight. I mean, there's really nothing to it. You just don't stand in shit. And then you kill the dudes. So, and there's a swipe and a rend and all the other stuff. So you obviously, at the same time, while all these guys are being moved around the room, you don't want to be in front of them. Okay. So I don't think there's much more to say about that one.
There's just some coordination to when you have to move away from abilities and where you want to. Like, yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff. You gotta see it and just learn. You know, and turn your graphics settings down maybe, but.
And on heroic, it'll be sitting all the melee possible.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We'll bring like 4 melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight is not melee friendly at all in heroic. Nope.
Storm Earth and Fire is useful though.
Lol.
Alright, so next one is General Nazgrim.
He's fun,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, Nazgrim is fun. Okay, he's pretty much in a. This dude is the. He's the warrior. He's a warrior. Okay, so and how you deal with him is pretty much based on how much rage he gets, right? So he does different things to get rage at different intervals in the fight. He gets more rage when he's defensive stance, and when he's defensive stance, I think we just won't hit him. We just won't attack him. Like, you know, we just won't attack him. So
I use my opportunity strike to kill the rage. It should be dead. There we go.
Good job.
Oh, I'm in a.
I know. Sundering Blow. This is a tank swap, and then he's got obviously a.
That link though.
An execute that really hits hard. 3 million damage execute. So this is a heroic ability. It looks like so.
Because the hot picture clip. What the fuck? Don't even.
Mace, crack their bone. This is he throws a mace at somebody. Hits them for 50%, and then a bleed, and then a dot after. So, 30-second dot after that. So it's just something to heal people with. Is this the guy that?
He's in Ragefire Chasm.
Yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, he's in the Valley of Wisdom in Ragefire or whatever.
So
isn't Gammon on this one somewhere? That's the achievement.
Yeah, he's but the thing about it is though is you can't really you have to move the boss around to keep Gammon alive because Gammon just auto attacks. I think.
Wow.
Because this guy, it's pretty simple. Like the Icy Vade's video review of this it looks really easy because he just like he's like tank and spank pretty much a tank and spank where you don't stand in his things, but
don't
this thing.
Stand in his shit. So he doesn't get a lot of rage, but if he gets a lot of rage, he'll always use like, you know, whatever ability he has enough rage to use, you know?
Yeah, the highest cost.
The highest cost. So he has 100k rage abilities, you know, or 100 rage abilities, but those are fucked up, you know, like 75% of your health is gone with that one attack, with the War Song. I mean, you don't want that.
War Song, yeah.
You know? Yeah, the Ravager, the fucking spinning blade. Just don't go through it. Stay away from the spinning blades, you know? So
those things hit really hard, and they actually the whirlwind guy moves really fucking fast. Like he needs to be rooted and slowed and stunned and shit. Like
oh yeah, that's really the other half of the fight is that as you're just tanking spanking him, forces just come out of the walls. There's 5 different ads. Yeah.
Is there like a shaman or something that we have to prioritize like yesterday?
The shaman need to be interrupted because they heal.
You need to kill the totem.
I think the rogue is the priority.
The rogue, because it fixates and will kill somebody.
Or you have to make sure you're not facing away from him too.
No,
you can't kite him. You have to backpedal, and then the warrior, you just need to really get some like slows and stuns.
What? What?
What happened?
Wow.
Hello.
You have to read what Div said in Mumble. Okay, so anyways, yeah, there'll be some ads. There's Arcane Weavers, Assassins, Shamans. I mean, there's a bunch of shit. So, and
the ads are every 10% of his health, and I think it's 2 ads each time.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think it's 2 ads every 10%, basically. So the ads are totally, but they're randomized which ones you get. So it's 10%, kill the ads, avoid his crap. 10%, kill the ads, avoid his crap. Keep his rage low.
Okay, so Malkorok next. We're almost there, guys. So hang in there. Malkorok next. This is a hero pre-pull spread up. Hero, AG, everything to help build the shield. So this fight is kind of like, I don't know how to explain it.
The tortoise effect, right?
Yeah, it's 100% of your health though, not 75.
Yeah.
And there's no healing done in phase 1 because of Ancient Miasma.
This is the one where we'll rely on tech or something to mark the areas for us as they strike.
Yeah. So anyways, think Tauros, build the shield up, and then just, stay alive through whatever abilities are going on. So, spread, pre-pull, hero, VEAG to help build the shield of the pull, stack for phase 2, just like 4 kings, can wipe the raid if we are too slow to stack. So we gotta stack quickly, okay? 4 kings? What the fuck is he talking about? Spirit kings?
Spirit kings.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's got that frontal fucking shit, right?
The frontal shit's in the phase 2.
Yeah, in phase 2. If you have displaced energy, you move out, okay? And this happens a lot, so we'll be calling out, we'll be like, displaced energy, so-and-so get out, so-and-so get out, so-and-so get out, so-and-so get out. You just gotta get out, and then get back in when that's worn off, okay? Only issue we'll have is soaking the pools. We'll rotate roars for rough soaks, use AMs for gangbang soaks. Okay, if you are running together, but if someone is in, no reason to join them. Time long CDs between smashes, okay? Ranged tank pull on the pull so the healers can build a large shield. So basically, we won't run up and pull them, we'll pull them from ranged, okay? So, build the shield, and then there'll be pools around the room, okay? And then people have to go soak those pools. I don't know how many you have to do in 25, I think 3 per?
4. No, I think there's 5.
Is there 5?
25, man. Yep.
5 people have to be in a pool?
No. There's 5.
5 pools.
5 orbs. 5 big ass
5
orbs.
pools, 1 person per thing, right?
One
person
per
in
pool?
each.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll probably want a little bit of redundancy. Like, it's okay for 2 people to be in it. They're both going to take the hit. But it's better than, fucking up and not having anyone in there and having the whole raid take 300,000.
Yeah, so we'll set we'll set it up where, we'll have a rotation, because you can't just keep taking pools because your shield will be gone and then you're gonna die, so
yeah, I don't know, is there an add-on or something that people can get to, like, monitor your shields? Because you can't just heal off of grid, because you don't know.
It'll be integrated into DBM, I guarantee it. Like,
Think
there'll
so?
be a... Yeah, no,
there has to be,
definitely.
yeah.
Because there is 0 healing, all you can do is stack shield.
He also does a like shockwave, right? He does the shockwave on
It's like a half of the room, yeah.
Not a half. It's like an eighth, I would say. Like he does an eighth, and then an eighth, and then an eighth, and then that's 3/8. So, or maybe I don't think he does a quarter. Yeah, an eighth probably.
I'm pretty sure it is
then,
half with all 3 of them.
Yeah, when all 3 of them, then he blows up all 3, so that ends up being like half a room. 3/8 is almost a half.
Yeah, you have to remember where he struck, and then the safe spot is where he didn't.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So you cannot be where he struck. So this is another one of those where everyone, if you guys have done Darumu enough times and you did it the right way, you would have been able to see the fogs. Just have your fucking eyes open. Remember that this area is bad.
What either Tech or myself will do is we'll mark where he struck, so you don't be on the marks. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing to make sure here is whenever you take health damage, that's when he gains rage. So the longer you can not take health damage, the less amount of time you have to actually go into phase 2, because phase 2 is awful.
Also, that shield, at least I believe when we were testing it in Flex, it was sort of working like staggered, as where the shield was actually like the icon was changing color depending on how much of it was there.
Yep.
I
so you
could,
can
yeah.
actually kind of get a representation off just grid. Because below 30 is like red, and 50 to 70 is yellow, and above 70 is green, kind of thing.
And
Where they got that model.
So mitigation cooldowns worked with your shield, or was that not part
Percentage based, I do believe.
Yeah, percentage based.
It's just like on Tortos, you can do a percentage based cooldown before the slam, and you won't lose your shield.
Is it possible to, aside from the fights mechanics of shields, would you be able to have like a disc shield or
definitely
anything on top of it?
But they're not going to be as big as your whole health pool as a shield,
Well,
like 600k. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure, always, yeah.
That we'll have groups 1 and 2 will be soaking pools, right? So this way, our Disbreeze knows to bubble groups 1 and 2. That'll help with that, And then it'll be groups 2 and 3, and then it'll be group 3 and 4. And then it'll be group 4 and 5, and then it'll be 5 and 1 again. It's like that, so we can just run through the groups, and then you'll be assigned, an area, so you just gotta have to soak the pools. Don't soak the pools, it's a wipe, right? So
you can live through like 1 or 2, but obviously if he blows up multiple times, he's got to gain, instant Hunter Rage, then start fucking us.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on. I think that's that with him. Spoils of Pandaria. Fun fight. This is where we get into a really interesting encounter where pretty much you have a vault of rooms. It's 4 rooms, right? And you open up 2, and then what you want to do is you want to open up all 4 rooms. So this is where we do battle with different creatures. We'll split up the raid into 2 groups. There'll be a tank and a melee group and healers, and a tank and a rage group and healers, and then we'll just we'll go on our each separate sides, and then we'll do our own thing there. There'll be abilities like where you gotta go drop bombs. You can get an extra action button. You gotta go drop bombs. You cannot blow up a bomb or they all blow up. That kind of thing. Kill ads. Okay. Always get the big ad and then the little ads, and then just keep killing the small ads. The tanks will be opening up the boxes. Okay. So as you kill ads, the lever starts.
You don't want to do
energize
ranked
for the next
Francis
room.
Quiet.
And the key is to get into the next room, right? And then finish off those ads. And doing that in all the rooms, and then you finish the encounter, and you get to the treasure, right? So it's just an ad encounter and dealing with the different ad abilities, and that's something that we'll just sit there, and then right before we pull it, we'll open up our dungeon journal, and then we'll just say, hey, this ad does this ad does that. Just be aware of this, and then we'll deal with it and go that way.
And
Not a hard
depending on how comfortable we are, we can start opening say we open 1 crate. As long as the tank is aggro in it, you can move to the next crate, etc. But don't open them all at once and just get swarmed and murdered.
Yeah.
Just gauge it, and then if you're comfortable with it, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's tank's discretion. So.
Yeah, because there's lots of crates. There's
there's a ton.
There's a lot.
I assume once we get more comfortable with the fight, hunters and rogues could tricks and misdirect crates to tanks.
Yeah, why not?
to tanks. That's
To your tank named Bay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Next,
The
so
big
that was
fiction warrior.
pretty simple fight. Next fight's really simple as well. This is Thok. This is the dinosaur. He's a fucking dinosaur. Whatever. Okay. Pretty much, you have to be on his side. You can't be in front of him or behind him. He's got a tail whip and he's got a frontal, so you don't do that. There's a tank swap. We swap. We'll set up marks around the room, just like if you guys saw the midwinter polls. They pretty much say, okay, this is where we're gonna set up. And then when he goes into his second phase where he starts fixating on people, you have to run, first person runs to star, second person runs to diamond. We'll set that up. And then there'll be an ad, a jailer will come out, right? And then you DPS the jailer, he drops a key, you get the key, you open up the cell, and then you go first. Now on Heroic, it looked like opening up the frost, poison, fire is going to be the most ideal way to do it. So that'll probably be the same way. So raid damage, stack up on the side, lots of raid damage. Okay, stack up on his side, and then he becomes a frost dragon where he breathes frost, and then it becomes a poison dragon where he breathes poison, it becomes a fire dragon where he breathes fire. So really simple, just deal with it. In Heroic, there's additional adds and added mechanics, but this will be an easy one. All you have to know is if he's fixated on you, you gotta run away, and if you run through him while he's fixated on somebody, he kills you. or you're instantly smashed. I mean, you turn into piles of fucking meat and you die, right? So if you've seen it, it's fucking hilarious. But and the range on it is fucking huge. You know, like his frontal, like you could be 10 yards away from him and you could get smashed. Okay, and his tail, you could be like 20 yards behind him and still get tail lash. So you gotta be really smart as he's getting kited around. Okay, to not fucking get hit by him. All right.
Yeah, the big thing
We
is
can roar at the beginning of each phase transition to that too to get everyone away from him real quick.
Yeah, as he's transitioning, we're gonna say go, spread, go, run out.
Yeah,
you know?
and like
then,
one druid could do them all too.
Yeah,
like you don't have to worry
exactly.
about, oh, we don't have 2 boomkins, we can't do it or whatever. Just
Well, yeah,
one
you
druid
don't-
can handle them all.
As far as I know,
It
too,
just helps.
you don't have to go into the frenzy phase a lot because he only goes frenzy if 5 or more players are under half health anyway. So that'll force him into the frenzy of blood. So,
Eventually, you'll get forced into frenzy because you have so many. You know, the damage just keeps going up. So and it increases exponentially. So.
But if you keep having people that go low, you'll have more frenzy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But with a group setup and group healing and whatnot, you try to avoid frenzy as much as possible. And then probably just do 2 jails.
Dinosaur.
2 frenzy phases only. Okay. After him. Siegecrafter
Blackfuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Blackfuse is. Let's just fuck Blackfuse, dude. Okay. A lot of different mechanics. Really bad trash is what he wrote here for us.
Really bad trash. It takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was watching Salute do it, and like it's dead when you clear it, obviously. But if you wipe to it, it all resets. As far as I know,
gauntlet.
It's a gauntlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked pretty okay. It just lasts forever. It was probably 15 to 20 minutes of trash, and it's just like constantly. There's like 6 waves of ads that he summons from his room that come up through the pipes, and yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I know nothing about this fight. I know that there's a conveyor belt of ads. We would send people into the conveyor belt. You got to kill an ad, then you come back. It's supposedly looks pretty cool, and the videos that we have posted seem okay. I know nothing about this one.
Yeah, the conveyor belt is like a situational thing because you can only choose to kill like one of his, I guess weapons that are coming up on the conveyor belt now and then. I guess that's probably something we can figure out. I don't know how many people have to go up on the conveyor belt, but it most likely be melee going on the conveyor belt.
In testing, it seemed like we would get the second, the first, the third, and the third, and that was correlating with what kind of ads were coming out.
Yeah.
What was available, so it was like the second, first, third, and third on the conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, when you go on the conveyor belt, you have to avoid getting shit on by some crap on the conveyor belt, and you also have to kill, obviously, a predetermined weapon. And once you kill a weapon, you just get off, because then all the weapons become immune. Yeah,
it's like Frogger. There'll be 3 lanes of fire, and there'll be 1 path to go through, and you got to go through those, and then jump into the pipe at the end.
If you've done the gauntlet on Thorum, kind of like that, you gotta look ahead, see where the thing's coming from. And
Well, you go backwards. You're not walking forward on this gauntlet. You're going backwards when you bounce up on top of it. You're getting pushed back. You have to run forward constantly, and then weave your way back through the fire as you kill the weapon. And then when you get to the end of the conveyor belt, when you kill the weapon, you jump back into the pipes and you come back to us. But you stop him from getting that ability in the fight, whereas you have to deal with all the other ones you didn't kill.
And then you get a debuff that prevents you from going back into the pipes for a minute.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think you have to go into the pipes every... Basically, you can't send the same people back to back. You can have 2 groups, I think. I think you can have 2 groups that go back to back, but you can't do the same group over and over.
Back to back, but you can set up 2 groups, and one goes, then the other one goes, and you just go, maybe 2 or 3, whatever. We'll figure it out.
A lot of the rest of the fight is on tanks, really. It's you guys moving him, not hitting the saw blades, kiting the... What are they called? The stupid little crawler mines. They look like the mines in StarCraft 2 from the science vessel things or whatever. Like they slowly float toward a person. If someone hits them, they explode. Otherwise, you can DPS them down. If they get to the person, they explode. So you want to just kill them before they get to them. There's always gonna be like 3+ of them out though. Like they're always out all the time. So then he AoEs the room sort of in the same pattern that that lightning guy does in the Protectors of the Endless, where it's like one, and then like it's the next step. You don't want to get hit by it.
Oh.
The big drill heads come out of the ground, so you don't like when he does it, you have to get away from him, and then get in, and then get in, and then get in.
Huh. Anybody have anything else on that one? That one shouldn't be too hard, but it's just coordination, and it's the fight that it's toughest on tanks, I think. So.
Yeah, tank to the switch. You get a debuff to kill the ads that come out really fast. We don't have to kill them, but we have to deal with the crawler mines and the other crap that comes out, not hitting the saw blades and.
Well, the tank gets a buff to do more damage to the ads, and then we just tank them in the fire and the saws, and we'll deal with it.
On normal, we'll probably burn it through really quick because we were testing it on 25, and I think they scaled our item level down to 530 or something. And after 2 wins, he was already down to like 30%, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, no, but Midwinter killed the shit out of him with their terrible group. They actually wiped to practice it more. He didn't look that difficult. It's just that you have to really control the assembly line, because if he keeps getting all those weapons, you get overwhelmed.
Yeah, so it's more of like people on the assembly lines understanding the mechanics and
not
people
dying.
dancing correctly to word and drills during the wins.
Okay.
And if you get placed on the assembly line, we like you. And we trust you.
I think if you die on the assembly line too, you're like out of res range unless someone goes on the assembly line to res you too, because you're like way out of the room. It's like a big room and you're way up on the assembly line too, so yeah, don't die.
Okay, Paragons of the Klaxxi. Yeah, just get a needle and stick it in your ass or your dick or whatever.
Yeah. Right near your urethra.
Yeah, right in your urethra, because it'll feel just like that. It is fucking like. There's no way to explain the fight. You get three at a time. Okay, you kill one, the other 2 heal. You get a third Klaxxi. All right, and you just killing the fucking Klaxxis through. The order pretty much, obviously, you get 1, 2, 3. You kill one, and then you get 2, 3, and then you get a new one. Okay, then you kill 2, and then you kill 3, and then you kill 1, 2, 3. Whatever, you deal with whatever abilities they give you. Whatever the fucking server decides to shit on you. This is gonna be random like every fucking week, right? The order they come out in. So it's like, just when you go to Wowpedia, read the abilities of all the ads, okay, and then in your mind say, you know what? If I put the A and B and C together, this would be really a fucked up combination. Pretty sure we're gonna get that, because that's how this fight's gonna be. It's gonna be one of those most fucked up fights every single week. You know?
It's like Spirit Kings except with 8 of them.
And there's 9.
Yeah. It's like Hellfist with 9.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. All right, so really, honestly, I don't know what to say about it.
Every week it's different. So it's
every
hard
week,
to...
just get ready. Just read the fucking things. It's that when a Paragon is defeated, all the other Klaxxis heal to full and gain a 10% damage buff. So obviously you can't just leave 2 alone and just keep killing the new one over and over and over. And you can't decide to kill which one. You can't really decide which one you want to kill. Because you could decide which one is first, and you could decide which one is second. But after that, you can't really decide anymore, because now you're on 3. You have to kill 3. Then you got to go back to the new 1 and the new 2 and the new 3. Okay?
Yeah, there may be some cases like one of them could just be like a very light tank damage with something you interrupt, and we can just leave that one up with like 2 interrupters on it until like say it gets like 30% or 40% damage buff, and then we can kill it off. Once like say we get a really shitty combo on the second one we kill, we can focus that one down and keep like the easier ones up kind of thing, just until things stabilize, and then go from there. Like it's something that we'll need to adjust to on the fly. Like, oh, if we get this one, then ease up on this guy. We'll just keep interrupts, etc. That kind of stuff. It's just gonna be a long fight.
Yeah, no, it's like 15 minutes or 12.
Yeah,
somewhere in that range. Yeah,
but
what about
how many do you have to kill?
No, you have to kill all of them.
Fuck.
You have to kill all the Paragons.
You gotta kill all 9. Yeah. I don't know what pissed off the Klaxxi. Weren't they on our side? Like,
well,
something pissed them off, right?
No, Sarge is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarge is in
Yeah, they told us, they warned us.
They warned us.
If Sarge came back, they would not be on our side anymore.
Yeah.
At the very end of the Klaxxi
And
Grom has
you got friendly with the delivery guy. Like, you got friendly with the truck that delivers all your shit for, like, Pepsi. And then you pissed off the guys from Pepsi, and so the people that work for him can't be your friend anymore for a while.
Yeah.
But a little more on track. Like, it's not like a fucking cleave fight, because it's just wasted damage. It's treat it like protectors in in a terrace.
And the one thing, how about you can get who gets the ability and how many people get the ability when you kill a Paragon? Because that's also
only
part of the fight.
One person, I think.
Because when you kill one, you can get like you can get like their main ability, and then you can use it on the next ones, right? But like that also determines which kill order you do it, because certain matchups of that ability will help you kill the next guy, or vice versa him. So it's like rock paper scissors. You can just go in blindly and do it, but if you have certain, I don't know what abilities, it's hard to like.
I think the you're talking about Power of the Paragons, right?
Power of the Paragons.
I think you could actually assign people to pick that up. Okay. I don't think it just goes to a random person.
No, yeah, it's interactive, but I think only one person can get it. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Is it a one-time use, or is it for the remainder of the fight? Okay.
You get the passive or the ability or whatever extraction, but
Which
for the rest of the.
Which bro does the little scorpion guys? Klaxxi. We're on Klaxxi or something, right? Yeah. Well, okay. That shit was really annoying on PTR. I'm sure they like changed it, but we couldn't kill them for whatever reason ever. They just kept regenerating. So unless they fix it, there's one Paragon that can't be up when the Scorpions are up, otherwise they'll heal forever and you can't kill them. And they do a lot of damage.
Would you be able to use calculated on those?
It does say players that interact with the Paragon. So maybe more people than just one?
It might be 2 per and 25 and 1 per and 10 men then, or something like that.
Yeah, there's got to be something you can do about it, but we couldn't figure it out, other than the fact that the description in the journal about one of the Paragons that was up with the Scorpion Summoner guy said that while X-Paragon is alive, the Scorpions will cast their self-heal, and when he's dead, they weren't supposed to. But it didn't work right on the PTR, so... I'm not sure if we missed a mechanic, and if that goes live, it's going to be really annoying to get past that.
Those amber blocks were unkillable too, but I'm pretty sure that's getting changed.
You could also cheese
Hi,
that
Metro.
by like getting them both to 50%, waiting for it to go on the other guy, and then burning him down. You know, because if you push the other guy past 50, he'll block that guy, and then you just burn the 50% guy who puts the block out. But we could not get past the little Scorpion bros. I'm sure that'll get fixed, but if it doesn't, it's got to be some sort of empowerment from a Paragon.
Well, and it's one of those things that you won't know until you know what order you're getting, right? Like, then you have to deal with it. I mean, the fight should get easier as it goes because you get more people with a buff. But you may kill the first 7, and then you're just on 8 and 9 left over, or the first 6, and then you're on 7, 8, 9, and their combination is just fucking you every time, and you have to find a way to deal with it. So it's just one of those fights that you may wipe on almost every week just to kind of deal with different attributes, especially at the beginning. But dealing with the fucking fixates, the ads, the poisons, the amber, the fucking
killing it a second time. Killing it a second time, or after wiping, do they come back in the same order? If we keep the same order?
Yeah, each reset changes their order.
Somebody will probably come up with a
raid
website
reset
that'll
every
tell you
Tuesday.
what the order of the week is, so you can plan ahead.
I'm pretty sure there will be, yeah.
Like they did for
Hellfist.
So there was there is a post here. It says when a Paragon has been defeated, one player may take a fallen Paragon's power to use as their own. Only one player can take a Paragon's power, and only that player may take one Paragon power the entire encounter. And each Paragon's power can only be acquired by particular class roles per Paragon. There's ones for healers, DPS, and tanks, I believe.
Yep.
So it's interesting because like the big DPS one that I'm finding here, the freaking mad scientist, you turn into a giant fucking scorpion and you deal damage for 30 seconds based on your highest damaging ability, highest attack or spell power of the caster when mutated.
Yeah.
So like there are things that
damage on PTR it was like really weak.
Was it? Well, yeah. Hopefully, it's not a thing because a lot of these abilities, like the healing one, is a huge AOE wide heal based on one of your heals. Right? You hit person with one of your heals, and it hits the entire raid with that same heal. So you obviously want a healer that has a really good single target heal to have that ability. So it always have to be like pre-planned.
Does lay on hands count? Yeah.
It says when activated, the caster heals the initial target, and the heal is then copied to every other raid member.
I wonder if it did forbearance to everybody though.
What does
Well,
that
I think
do revival?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a.
It's not single target.
Single target.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be its own heal though. It's not one of yours. I'm just saying it might be based on your healing. Like if your gear, like the more stronger geared healer might want to get this, not just like, you know, someone with lower. It'll also be like planned out on who gets his abilities.
How would you use the DPS one, Chesty, when you were using it?
Say what?
Just, how would you
use
use
attack.
the DPS one? You just pop it,
There's
extra
buttons.
action button?
Yeah, it's just like being in the Golem on the Ember Shaper.
Yeah.
There's different abilities, but they're all fucking weak. I mean, they're gonna tune it up. I hope.
Yeah, because like the ranged one is that it's the compound eye. The player fires a shot at the target that inflicts physical damage. The greater the further away that the target is from the person that casts it, and then he also takes 15% more damage for 10 seconds. Like these are all really important to know, and we have to basically have them planned out ahead of time. Like when Strong Legs is out, or blah blah blah, Bloodthirsty, or blah blah blah.
Yep. But again,
So, yeah.
right, there's 9 guys, 9 different abilities, 9 different ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then, but then we'll start to get, to a part where, dealing with this guy is going to be the same way every single time, and this guy the same way every time.
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll get it. It may just, this is one that we may get hung up on for a little bit of learning. It's kind of meant to do that, but I think we'll be alright. Because the 2 before it are really easy, or the 3 before it are really easy. So, okay, so nothing left but Garrosh at this point. Garrosh is a travel around the world fucking kill fest, I guess, whatever.
It's an Illidan fight. It's like 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's long as fuck, and I don't think anybody's killed it on the BTR yet, but the only thing we really have to go off of is what we've seen. And whatever. So, and I'll just go through with what Tech wrote for us, and then we could discuss it. At the beginning of the encounter, Garrosh calls for Korkoron, Warbringers, and Farseers to assault the players alongside him. Siege engineers periodically join the battle, and try to activate the Korkoron Iron Stars on the sides of the room. Killing a Siege engineer will prevent him from activating his Iron Star, but an active Iron Star will also crush any Korkoron orcs in his path. When Garrosh reaches 10% health remaining, he will draw upon the power of Yusarj, right? Yusarj to heal himself, getting new abilities and no longer calling orc soldiers to his aid. Okay, during this phase, Garrosh will periodically pull all players into the realm of Yusarj, and where they must battle their way through Shamanians to reach Garrosh and interrupt his efforts to draw more power from the heart. Every 25 energy Garrosh is allowed to gain will empower one of his abilities. Upon being reduced to 10% health a second time, Garrosh will fully drain the heart of Yusarj, granting him 100 energy and empowering all his abilities until he is defeated. Stage 1, True Horde. Garrosh, wielding his new weapon with his True Horde and Siege machines at his disposal, brings his might to bear upon any intruders. The True Horde join the battle. So this is just the add phase, our first one. Okay. Basically, what's written here is adds tanked on blue side, kill green side. Okay. Range, stay away from our stack points, dot the weapons. Alright, so again, lots of stuff. That's the add phase. Okay. Interrupting Shaman increases cast speed, so only interrupt the heal. So you don't want to just chain interrupt the Shaman. Alright. So kill adds, and then you do the intermission, the realm of Yusarj, and then for 1 minute, Garrosh will heal for 10% of his total health and begin to absorb energy from the heart, blah blah blah, inside the realm. Then you enter stage 2. So what do we do in the intermission? What do we need to do there?
Well, there are multiple intermissions that I don't know if we have to do all of them each encounter.
I think you run a mini gauntlet killing adds with like a million health, and then
no health
interrupt
on
the
him.
boss.
You get sucked up into his pooper, and then any adds that are still with him, in his area, they come with you. So you just AoE and run to the end of it.
Yeah, so, I think then you tank the boss for a bit, and he does the same moves as that Malkorok or whatever it is, where he just axes a cone effect and does that over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. Markarok.
Malkorok. The big thing with this...
Morchok number 2.
Yeah, the big things with this fight, though, is that it's the same until 10% outside of the intermissions, and then when it gets to 10%, he goes back to 100% HP. and then it's an entirely different fight until 10% again. Whereas there's a normal mode version of the 10%, and then there's another heroic only version at the end of the fight apparently in heroic, but no one knows what that is obviously. So the fight, you have to do the fight twice, and then it changes each time you do it until the last 10%. So it's... I don't think I've ever seen a kill, at least not things streamed or confirmed. I have seen tons of like phase 2 stuff where he is transformed by the corruption and he has like the stupid desecrated ground and but I've never seen him beat it past that.
I was watching a video. It was the one on the forums. They get it all the way to the end of it, and then they all just stop and die because they want to pull it more.
Yeah. That was normal mode.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, look at that video. This one is another one of those where there's a lot of things going on as well, like Paragons and a lot of different abilities through the phases, and you just have to deal with them. So, and we'll deal with those. This is something that I'm still waiting for Tech to write up the strat on. So, we never strat ready for, but we should have it ready. The most important thing from this is that you guys have gotten a pretty good understanding of, you know, these encounters a little bit. Kind of talked about it, and when you do your research prior to Tuesday this weekend, which you should be doing, okay, then you know you'll be ready come on Tuesday. On Tuesday, obviously, you know there'll be different people fighting at different points, or you know, for the encounters. You're you're not going to see every single fight. Right? Obviously, like not everybody sees every single fight. So if you're not in on any specific encounter, make sure you're watching one of the streams, and that you're getting yourself ready. If you're pulled in or for the following week, okay? That's basically it.